You're listening to the Franchise Freedom Podcast with Giuseppe Grammatico.
Welcome to the Franchise Freedom Podcast. I'm your host, Giuseppe Grammatico, your franchise guide, the show where we help corporate executives experience time and financial freedom via franchising, as well as answering questions regarding business, first-time business owners, experienced business owners, both in and outside of the franchise industry. So thanks for joining us today. We are continuing our series this year, answering the questions that we get via conversations, via social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube comments, so we can basically put it all together, answer your top questions, and just have fun with it. So so basically for today, I wanted to address AI, and the title of today's show is ChatGPT and AI and how it will impact the franchise world, as we've been getting some questions there. And I thought this is appropriate because it's all you've been hearing about in the news is ChatGPT, AI, how will it affect things going forward? And I had some conversations both with colleagues of mine at our last conference. We had some conversations with founders of some of the franchise brands. And, what it really boils down to is that there's going to be a lot of benefits. So really, when it comes to, if we break it down kind of into categories, is on the marketing side, really being able to repurpose a lot of our, we call it evergreen content, a lot of things that we say over and over again. So maybe the idea of owning a business and helping you experience the various time freedoms we talk about, which is time freedom, financial freedom, freedom of purpose, freedom to choose who you enjoy working with, et cetera, et cetera. So I've actually we added a fifth one from Dan Sullivan, freedom to work where you want, right? I mean, some businesses, you can live in a completely different country, a different part of the world, and still do business in the U.S. So it definitely, there's some benefits there in getting your point across and using something like ChatGPT to really reword or reuse some of that marketing and some of the things we're doing, and overall just making in some cases the marketing process a little simpler, quicker edits. There's software out there that's able to really cut down the process as far as what do you call it? Snippets. What are the best snippets you can be using in that video, and it randomly goes in there. And I think it's a great tool to make you a little bit more efficient. You still have to go in and check in on it. But where I've seen a lot of value is just even in generating ideas, putting topics out there, not necessarily writing a script or blog for you, but it can really give you some ideas, break it down into various categories. So I think there's going to be some efficiencies in there from a marketing perspective, but keeping in mind, we all have to up our game, myself included, in that, ChatGPT is free. A lot of the AI software is free. Some of them have, $10, $20 price point up to, I've seen, we'll say $0 to $100 per month. So people have access to the technology. So really stepping up the game, being consistent, constantly being, posting daily, being in front of your audience, essentially being a media company, really producing content that's relevant for your audience. We do a lot of education. We want you to be well informed. A lot of people I talk to say they'll watch 10 episodes, maybe read the book behind me before even contacting me, and that's fine. Along the buyer journey, educating along the way. But going back to AI, I think ultimately, still, I don't know a ton about it. I am not an expert by any means, but I have used it. There's been some great companies out there. Yes, people are concerned about jobs, but I also feel it could also create new jobs. But use it where you see fit. I think it'll simplify certain things. Some of the AI out there will even give you different headlines. We're going to experiment that on this show. Headlines as far as what it feels maybe is a better headline, something a little bit more catchier, and things like that. Cleaning it up. I say a lot. That's just part of it. I really like to keep this natural. And while the flow is going, I do one take on all my shows. So it could remove all that. So I think efficiency is there. I wouldn't 100% rely on it, and utilize it. Maybe it means cutting back some expense per month. For myself, it's cut back several hours a week of work. And that's why we're doing this, right? We're owning a business for that time freedom, so that I am not, working maybe those 2 hours a week. I'm out enjoying time with the family, visiting a new restaurant, going somewhere, going to a soccer game, which is what we really enjoy. So really embrace what's out there. I think also from a search standpoint, I'm wondering if people are going to start shifting. I know I have. Instead of Googling certain topics, I may use something like a ChatGPT to really go in and get a summary. With SEO, it's really about who has the best SEO companies in some case, keywords. There's a whole science behind it. So as opposed to allowing a search engine to really kind of predict, and tell you what you should be looking at on the first page, now you're relying on ChatGPT. So as I'm saying this, it's the free version of ChatGPT goes up to 2021. I believe the newer version is much more up to date. So again, still learning as we're going on here, but definitely embrace it. Definitely take a look at it. I don't think there'll be any negative effects per se, at least right now that I understand. And I think it'll really help in doing your search, kind of figuring out, ultimately, what are you searching for? Are you using it to help with workflows in the business? If you're just looking for franchise searches, you can get some information, but the information is only as good as your prompt. So really spend some time being very specific in the questions that you're asking. But overall, I'm really excited to see what will come. I am working and talking with a few companies as I see new features, really kind of using one company to handle it all, using 5, 6, 10 different types of AI all consolidated into one, one being around video, one being around transcripts and rewording those into headlines and hooks and things like that. So a lot of great stuff out there. Really open to your feedback. If there's a company that you use that you really like, you could put that here in the comments. Would love to check it out and maybe do a call with one of these companies so we can learn more about it. But thought it was relevant. It's been coming up in the conversations. Again, I think it's overall positive. I think it'll help with marketing, help with your search. And but my reservation there is not 100%. Relying on that for everything. So keep that in mind. Hopefully this is helpful. This is a little short one today, but I thought it was relevant since the questions are constantly coming up, and that's all I've been reading lately on my social feeds, and I feel like that's all I'm reading on Google. So hope you enjoyed this. If there's any questions, please comment. Any questions, topics you'd like me to cover on future shows, any AI that you're currently using. If you have any thoughts on AI, certain companies you're using that you're having a lot of success with, I should say, put that all in the comments. Future shows are going to be based off of that. As I mentioned, we have a founder of one of those companies on there. We may have, future topics that we can kind of continue. These are just, continuations of each. There may be 5 parts to the show. So again, we appreciate all your support. We appreciate all your comments and questions. If you know one person that could benefit from these shows, please share this show. Subscribe, like, email it, send it to, or share it with someone that may benefit. We cover all topics on business ownership, not just franchising. We'd love your thoughts, and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Whenever you're ready, here are 3 ways Giuseppe can help. 1. If you've ever considered owning a business of any kind, you owe it to yourself to get a copy of Giuseppe's book, Franchise Freedom. Download your free copy at ggthefranchiseguide.com/book. 2. Want to understand how successful executives make the transition from corporate to owning their own franchise? Join Giuseppe's next online presentation, Franchise Freedom: How to Escape the Corporate World and Have Financial and Time Freedom by Owning a Franchise, by going to ggthefranchiseguide.com/video. 3. Want to work with Giuseppe one-on-one to identify the right franchise opportunity for you, to navigate the process, and get plugged into experienced franchising advisors? Send him an email to gg@ggthefranchiseguide.com with one-on-one in the subject, and he'll send you all the details.